It is time to point. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. How are you doing? Uh-oh, I see the cat face. I don't see the other cat face I used to use. There we go. Alright. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhito, I've managed to find out what happened. Miss Susato? I was told it was an advanced form of a smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. Well, glad we found that out. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom apparently, and that's going to probably be our murderer. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk. For what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. I mean, it's kind of obvious that he charged them all 4. There's just an extra passenger now. Counsel for the defense. Kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Mr. Sato. Yes! Alright, back in the courtroom already. February 1 o'clock. Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, there she is. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded, look. He must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious. The army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Poor child. I don't know, she did throw a smoke grenade in a courtroom. Your name, girl. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? Ahem. If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded? I think perhaps I ought to explain here what it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded, give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. What did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. And she's not talking. Yet, or she can't. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Seems more like she seems to be employing, military tactics? I could see her stabbing someone. I remained somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord. The omnibus is in trouble now. Beppo, run! Get out of there, Beppo! Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. It seems you're always officially angry these days. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? You had to let me know what's going on. There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. People gonna be in trouble for perjury? Yeah, he lied. And that's a good theme. And that's why I took the back side as I did. It's the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, just how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, it is the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. And Van Zeeks is quiet. Then begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. Hold it! A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. Do you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time. So I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor. Huh. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream? Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume. Not above me, no, my lord. It was from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Hold it! You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? It's common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. Now why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. You know, a person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest? Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle of trouble. Are you suggesting that you were going to leave the man there? That's a lot to read. You have to give me a moment, I have to go to and from. Heavens alive, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. My pen? Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. That's why and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Want your good self to do the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. I don't know what to say. Then I tried to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? Hold it! I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? So he couldn't see the people above him because of where he was sitting. Well now, 'tis a queer thing, the wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious. Under your backside? His butt was screaming. I think we call that a fart. He woke himself up with a fart. And when I lifted the seat of which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Mr. Naruto, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence, and we already looked it up. It'd be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. And that's when I found her. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Hold it! You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball, when her eyes met well. My heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. Ugh, you're really overreacting to this. Still in all, I pulled her out from under there. I sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. Seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. He had her sit next to the dead guy. Okay. You sat this young girl next to the corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. I mean, it's a good thing not to be mean. You should be proud of that. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fellow's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, you must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason. Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. Interesting. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl. After that, of course. With the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something that was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is this girl, or who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. You want the fancy guy to keep talking? What? This girl here? A petty thief? He is interesting. He's really calm. Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? I don't know what voice to give her yet. Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Oh, got a gun. Ah! How dare you? What is the meaning of this? She ran. The girl, she's gone! Open your eyes. There you go. I'm over here. This is my best voice. I don't know what to do with her. Good gracious. How? What was that point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? Order? I don't know, it is a big title. I guess it's because they're doing courtroom in a different location. No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast... Oh, not green. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Oh, this? Yes, this was in a bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheeled drags. It's nice in it. I like the pink best. Do not wave that thing in my direction again. I'm gonna get drunk. Zeke's like, I can't handle this today. I just need to, you know, pour myself a glass. So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. Well, if we have some information on her, we might be able to find out her age. It's alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Let's see. Do we have Gina? Or Beppo, 62. Oh yeah, she's 17 years old, a young woman who witnessed the incident from her hiding place aboard the omnibus on the night of the murder. She was discovered by the defendant. Alright, yeah. Just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. And please, no violence to anybody. Spread peace, not violence. That's what I say. Love your neighbor. And I don't even smoke. You will now tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Sent you on a mission. Alright, if I have to. Just don't look at me to be your defense attorneys. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was alright, all waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of me skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. It did help me get away, mind. This is a question, it's just yes, no. Aw. Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. What is simplicity itself, me lord? You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on the top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat that night. Ah, and the cubby hole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume. Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature. Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. Oh. So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. I can't look at her, but she definitely changed her look. No demonstration is needed. Poor judge, he's old, you gotta give him a break. Even though you must have realized your actions would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. Oh, you persuaded them quickly. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. All not guilty. Oh wait, one more. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Jonathan Joestar's an old man. I think Jonathan Joestar does even better. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty? Uh-oh, everyone's against you, Zeeks. Mr. Naruto, this... Well, it must mean... It must mean what? That we're victorious! No, Zeeks ain't gonna let this stand. We've won? Are you sure? Yep, there he is. Oh, he put the leg up! If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends prey, do forgive the discourtesy. Oh, he did it. Really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices, where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotions rule the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. Pointed with the leg, yeah, that was a leg point. What do you mean, his true nature? Some nice legs. Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in the black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance Possibly have been affected, Counsel. Gotta point the toes. His boots are too heavy. Or you just can't see it through the boots. Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. He was towed up. It's a boot to the head reference. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, I'm gonna laugh if he loses, his shoe just comes flying off and hits Naruhito in the head. Boot to the head. Psh. The compartment on the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponi's friend? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in the fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of under-seat compartment to be? I'm curious. What if you can go out from underneath the cubbyhole, underneath the carriage, and go in on the other side, like from underneath it? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. Ah, this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. That'd be so funny. I wish it would. Well, Counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? I didn't look. It wasn't empty. I mean, according to that, it wasn't empty. I can't check underneath the omnibus, though. He did. Those are two good enemies to fight off. Okay, we already read the stories. I just want to check it again. So, Mr. McGilded was on this side. And there's none on this one. So we just got over that. Okay. Inside the carriage on the roof of the deck that night. We don't really have enough information. What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? I didn't look. It was empty. Wasn't empty. Yeah, to be quick to unload and load. I'm just gonna say what I know. It was empty. Yes. I'm fairly sure it was empty. But what else can I say? As I suspected. It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate has the scruples of a by-street wine merchant. I like wine. Mr. Naruhito. Perfect. This is why the fella is representing me after all. He knows just what to say, does he not? Well, no, it would seem the argument is moot. And the truth of the matter is there for you all to see after all. That there cubby hole under the seat is as empty as a devil's heart, so it is. That can be sure of, at least. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should let the droid weigh in on this matter, I think. I'm gonna get drunk. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that the omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. It certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. The money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. Huh. They're certainly changing. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, a lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a chick, of course it's a chick. They're so quick to change sides. Quite so. I must concur here. There we go. Don't do it, old lady. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clear at the truth every time. Yeah, they need to wait before deciding. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. So it's even again. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Dang, he was quick at doing it. Thank you, counsel. Before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outlanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. It just happened. The whole balance of the child just shifted, almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. I'm curious now. Give me one second, I'll read it in just a moment. I want to check something. Oh, I can't look at profiles all on here, okay. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. Hold it. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? But yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, innit? I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. Actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. Or maybe he did still charge him 5. They do speak British. They're in the UK. Or they're in Europe, rather. Pretty sure they're still in the UK. Full paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And one little scapegrace riding for free. You did say in it. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before its last run, see? That's when I slip into the carriage to get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach. No? Oh, no answer. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there. Sure. I always check all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No, it never seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed with the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all the stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. Unless they put the stuff back. But it was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for the troubles that night. Oops. So suppress that. Hold it! A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm in my own in the god permit at least some of the time. I beg your pardon? Did you say god permit? Oh yeah. Well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's why you came out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night... Yeah, he's just staring blankly. This gopher sat on me seat from the start. He didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. You mean tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Sigma stare. Hope he wasn't blowing it up in that in that carriage with her underneath him. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten those beans. Sorry, I do too many fart jokes. Yeah, right, mister. To be sure. I was shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been set on to find a child now, do you? Huh. So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. I don't know, something's fishy. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Once again, I forget to press. Hold it! Nothing wrong with potty humor. You can be 60 years old with potty humor, it's fine. So you couldn't see out in the cabin at all? Not to chat. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look out the crack. She saw a different crack that night. Making myself laugh. Then I can have a butcher's at who I gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. Did I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plan themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. There's too much like being thrown in the clink. But it was the only place to idle in them carriages, so it's Obson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there was some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to just stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. Hold it! When you say a loud bang, you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily. That's right, and then I felt the cushion over my head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes? Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim. Could it not? Well then, what would be the loud bang? Well girl, did you see what happened at the crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. I pushed up the cushion at a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting the bloke up who'd fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilden's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. Never risked looking. It's because of that the swaff found me. He did help me get away, mind. Hold it! And when Mr. McGilden discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down at the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah. The bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. How awful. Both me hands got covered in blood and made me feel sick as a dog. Both me hands, huh? Both their hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked to Mr. McGilden for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know me name and what I was up to in that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up, smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief, shining moment, yes. It's clear they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. I have a niggling feeling. Something bothering me. But I just can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what to say. Let's see. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked me up to the horses, just like always. Okay. But it was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. Tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch black in there. Huh. Can he be lying? And after a while I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped on my skin and did. Scream just came out. Does that well saw me. Okay. Okay. Well, it was a loud bang. Hold up, I want to check it out. So, he was here, Mr. McGilded sat there. Guy fell, blood on the floor. They sat him up, and there's blood on the seat. Skylight saw them. So we gotta figure it out. Let's go over it again. Next to the carriage before they looked up the horses, just like always. Okay, I mean, I don't see any evidence we have to dispute that. Very cool. Huh. Now that we know her name, is it possible that her name could be in here? Nothing. Nothing to show for me troubles then. Couldn't see a thing. I mean, I can't dispute that either, that she wouldn't be able to see a thing. There isn't a button. Possible. He was trying to commit the murder himself and accidentally stabbed himself when they hit a bump. After a while I hear the loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. Because that well found me. Did help me get away, mind. Austin is defendant is in one brief shining moment, yes. They are still very unsure. If we could just find He's saying something bothering him. I mean, even if that is the thing, what evidence can I show for that? There's the skylight. You can't show statements from other witnesses as evidence. The ornate knife. W. Okay, let's go over all my evidence real quick. Okay. Stabbing the abdomen with a knife while traditional almost died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting in the trauma. There he is dead. Gloves. Isn't it? Most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. He was toying with the coin in his right hand a little earlier. Yeah. I'm just judging, I have to carefully choose because I have to show evidence right now. I can't exactly I can't say that that's what she said or anything. So I have to show the correct piece of evidence. So you can't see a blind thing. Blind thing in place. It's pitch black in there. It's a waste of time, I got nothing to show for the troubles. Alright, hold up. So you're already in almost 40 even sit on the run. And then this one has a change of character, but nothing there. Give me this one.
Excuse me.
Oh, Miss Lestrade. I didn't know you could actually just click him out of nowhere. Did something spring to mind when you heard that last statement, perhaps? Uh-oh. No, not again. Uh-oh. Okay, it takes a while. Run! No, it seems not. Forget I asked. I did, but... Alright. Let's press again and try to keep an eye out for those inconsistencies. I'm not going to read it this time, I'm just going to keep an eye. So he hasn't changed his look. Still not. Okay. You just admire his stare. I think it's gonna be anyone. It's gonna be the last statement.
Hold it.
There you go. Just admire that stare. Huh, there's nothing there. Handsome. It's just unemotional. We didn't get anything from that one either. Press again, just keep an eye out. There we go.
No. Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? Evan took a minute. I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. I don't know, just how he sounds. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lasses all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad. Shut up in the dark. It was terrifying, so it was. It's perfect. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Hi. And I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe. Miss Lestrade. Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. It jabbers. Doesn't I need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp? What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? I mean, I might as well make it important. It's the only other lead we have. My lord. I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is profoundly important part. Point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please. But I mean, there's other writers, so she should have maybe heard them. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. Innit feeling. I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring. You're straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself. No, not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw the swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGill had sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah. Would you Adam and Eve a day? What a mug. Did I pursue him there? Then all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out, and there was as soon as I heard him leave, see? Well, would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to the drive and his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that wonder? You've heard? Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court. Clearly at odds with the facts. At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. Uh-oh. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Here we go. Waiting time. Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claims with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilded snoring. But think, Renosuke, think! When did the other guy get on? True. There's something else she could have heard. I'd imagine it was a person. She would have heard him get on. Yeah. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Hold up. Hold up. She said she heard a scream. Or a loud thud, and then a scream. Maybe. No, she heard the scream afterwards. Or did she? I'm so lost at the facts. Think importantly. It could either be this guy getting on, or it could have been this guy screaming. She did hear the thud.
Take that!
Yeah. She was already out when she heard first. That's already been established. Bryce fired Mason? Hey, you got fired 3 times? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. There we go. I just had to get my facts in order in my head. And guess what? It is the end of the stream. Perfect place to stop. We'll end with the point, start back up with the point.